We start the game in a helicopter. Big surprise. All of these survival games start in an aircraft of some sort. This thunder scares the fuck out of me because it is so much louder than everything else. And then we look through the images of the people we are looking for. I close the laptop and it is revealed that we single-handedly have the worst tattoo in existence. The helicopter is shot at and we crash. We get punched in the face, and at this point I decide I need to turn my graphics down as I'm getting a whole 2 frames an hour, and then my game crashes. So I spawn back in on a mountain this time, get bonked by a fucking helicopter, and then by this guy's pistol and wake up. I run over to Kelvin, and he's clearly had a big night on the Jack and Cokes, and I tell him to get some sticks. He disobeys me, so I discipline him with an axe. Realising that I just took out an important asset, I restart for the 3rd time. Helicopter, goofy tattoo, bonk, bonk again, wake up, and finally, we start the game. Hey guys, it's Cobb, and welcome to Sons of the Forest. There's heaps of hype around this game, and after playing for a bit, I can honestly see why. But anyways, let's get into it. I spawn in and head up the mountain, eager to find more stuff to loot. I find some basic stuff and signs that there were people here once. I look inside the cave and see a skeleton looking straight back at me. Fuck that. So I tell Kevin to get me some logs instead. Luckily for him this time, he obeys Daddy's orders and we cut trees together like any loving father and son relationship. After grabbing some of the logs, I notice Kelvin isn't following me. So I go over to ask him to follow me and yeet these logs at his fucking forehead.
Huh?
Sorry, Kelvin. I head back down and set up a tarp and manage to make a place to sleep. Then try to cut this tree with no success. How the fuck am I supposed to save a highly valuable family when I can't even cut a fucking log? I just need some sticks for fuck's sake. Please let me have some game. I can't set up a tent for my son without them. Luckily, Kelvin has better eyesight, and I tell him to fuck off and get some sticks instead. I try and jump on my tent, and for once in a video game, things actually make sense. I fix my tent and turn around to find Kelvin returning with his sticks. I'm sure he'll become a doctor one day. I set up a fire and catch some fish. If you can't tell already, I'm hesitating to leave what I deem a safe zone. Kelvin and I should definitely just live out our lives here. But then, a wave comes over me. I say no. Fuck that. I'm heading inside of the cave. I'm not afraid anymore. I grew my first nutsack hair last week, and it's time to show the world how much of a man I really am. I head for the cave atop the mountain, and head inside, preparing for a fight. With little to no weapons, apart from my blunt axe and a literal fucking stick, I head inside, and then the unthinkable happens. Absolutely nothing. There's just a few boxes and skeletons laying around. So I loot, and then head back down to the base. I tell Kelvin that he needs to put his tent up right next to the cliff, because if anyone should die from a slight tumble, it's definitely Kelvin. I give him a kiss, and he clearly disapproves, and then he runs away from me and takes a break. Probably to go talk to HR. Who the fuck does this guy think he is? No breaks under my employment, you little cunt. Get back to work. I collect some more logs with Kelvin, and it's starting to get dark now, which makes my computer have an absolute meltdown. I don't know why this game runs so shit on my computer. I open up my RGB backpack and take a look at the supplies I've collected. Very nice, considering I haven't left my base. I go to bed, wake up, eat some raw fish, drink from a puddle, and then decide that this forest isn't going to be my undoing. I see a cave on my map that I want to head to, and start doing so. I'm a man now. I've got a son to look after. I head down the river and pick up a stone And then I see this cunt staring at me from behind a tree. In Australia, we call these little buggers eshays, and we usually just go, "Oi, cunt! The fuck you looking at, dog?" And then they'd be scared off. But not in this game. So I'm forced to give him a haircut with my axe. I head further down the river and then spot the cave. I expected it to be nice to me like the other cave, with nothing but some skeletons and boxes. But fuck no, this is a horror game. And of course I see more of my colleagues being poked from arse crack to forehead with sticks, and then more of the eshays show up. I try and kill them off, but my heart's beating so fast that I could jumpstart a fucking car. I kill them off, but I don't want to go into the cave. You'd have to give me $1 million just to look at the entrance. So I decide I want to head home. And then I spot this fucking thing. I don't know what kind of fuck shit they got going on in this forest, but I'm not down with it. This bitch has got 3 legs and 3 arms. What's the fucking point? That would throw your entire centre of gravity off like crazy. Thanks for the offer, but I'm fucking out. I start to run up the hill with a massively impressive -3 frames per second, and it makes her running beside me so much scarier. I get back to the base after about 10 whole frames of gameplay and decide I'm going to live out the rest of my life up here with Kelvin. And that's when I look out over the horizon and see no signs of Kelvin. I can't do this. What about all the fun times we had? All the laughs and jokes? How am I meant to go on with my life without Kelvin? He must have been taken by that 3-legged whore, and I have to go and save him. I sleep through the night and wake up preparing for the fight ahead. I grab some fish, drink some more water, and then start cooking the fish. I look out over the horizon and start to celebrate. Wait, is that fucking Kelvin? That's fucking Kelvin!